Hi everyone, Eugene here at Panasonic, and I'm really excited to start a brand new series of tutorials on the LUMIX L10 camera. I have the three beautiful variants here in front of me. And before we get into it, before we start, I'd just like to mention that this series was also prompted by a little bit of feedback that we got from one of our customers. And just to show we actually listen to you, we really appreciate you using the cameras. I'd like to read what this message says before we actually get started. It's going to be a slightly longer video, this first one, because we will go into an overview of the camera and everything we have on it. And then the rest of the playlist in this series goes into the different functions that we have, the different customizability options that we have on the camera. So just want to get started. This is from, let's just call our customer Jay. I'm just going to read a little bit of their message and then we're going to get started. So he says, Lumix camera experience requires a lot of tinkering out of the box, and for many photo enthusiasts, I'm sure it's great. But for me, which is someone that is passionate and studied just a bit of photography, but mainly shoots because it's fun, the out-of-the-box camera settings and onboarding have left me confused. We'll do something about that, Jay. I come from some other brands, and I wish Lumix could provide some more in-depth, even basic guides for people like me, as I haven't experienced this level of friction with other devices, and it's upsetting because I know this beautiful camera can do much better in clearly more capable hands. So hopefully this series is going to help you understand and make the most out of the camera and enjoy the camera as much as we do. So grab a cup of coffee or tea, whatever you like. Grab your L10, keep it handy as we'll go through all of these different tutorials and just try to make the best out of the camera as well and enjoy it. So let's get started. So by the way, I will be switching between the main camera and also a close-up of the camera here with this other B cam. So let's get started. I think the first thing I wanted to kind of mention, of course, we're talking about a compact camera with a micro four thirds sensor. It's actually the same sensor that's in the GH7, so it's excellent picture quality in such a small body. And we're going to just turn around the camera so you can see what it looks like from the front here. So really briefly, like you see the Lumix logo and everything else is nice and clean. Nothing else in terms of buttons directly on the body. So that's all you're getting. The interesting things start to happen when we take a look at the lens. So I'm just going to twist this a little bit more to the side. Hopefully you can see this here. But essentially we have this aperture ring here, and I'll show it from the top in a second as well. We then have a ring, which actually this also can be customized. So you can call it a zoom or a focus ring if you're using manual focus. We then have the focus mode dial, so we can switch between, let's see if I can get this a little bit closer so you can see it there, but we can switch between manual focus, autofocus, and autofocus macro if we want to get a little bit closer on some of the subjects. And then on the top, which I'll show you in a second, we have what we call a function switch, and that also allows us to customize it, and I'll jump into more details on what you can do with that in a later video. On the side here, if you just bear with me for a second, I'll just open these two doors. Here we go. All right, so there we go. So you can see here we have a microphone input. So if you want to actually use an external microphone, that's going to be really handy. And then besides that, we have a USB-C. And there's a lot of different things we can do with USB-C as well. And one of them, spoiler alert, is allowing you to connect your camera to a smart device that has Lumix Lab and actually transfer the photos via USB-C directly to your smart device. So that is the side. On the right hand side, we don't have anything else. It's just the grip. And then I want to show you the top. And then we're going to look on the back of the camera and the settings that we have there. So this is what I was telling you about earlier. So we have this function switch dial here. So this one can be customized between a default position, and then we have 3 custom ones over there. If we start from the left, we just have the Panasonic logo. We have, this is basically a marker of where the sensor is for your focal length. We then have a hot shoe, and it's obviously covered, but that's for your flashes, for your microphones if you want to use one. We then have stereo microphones over there. We have the mode dial. We've got the on-off switch. We then have the shutter button. We have the zoom lever. We then have a function button, the rear dial here, and then a video record button. And actually a lot of these can be customized, so stick around for the next videos where we go into a lot more detail on that. And then if you bring the camera and turn it around, if we start from the left hand side, we have our viewfinder. And actually right next to it over here we have a diopter ring, so you can adjust this based on your vision. We also have a live viewfinder switch, so this allows you to switch between the live viewfinder and the LCD display. We then have the photo, video, and slow and quick mode dial, so you can switch between taking photos, videos, or slow motion or quick videos. We have a LUT button. This is again customizable, but by default it allows you to enable the real-time LUTs that you have on the camera. We have an AF on or autofocus on button, which allows us to help the camera autofocus on the area and based on the setting that we prefer. And then going down we have a quick menu. So this Q here is our quick menu button. We then have a playback button. Then we have another rear dial. And this is very similar to this one in the sense that we can actually customize it, but this is also offering us the possibility to access some of the common functions. So for example, if we press the up section, that's going to allow us to enter the ISO and control the ISO settings. On the bottom here, the down arrow would be our drive mode. On the left hand side, we have the autofocus modes, and then we have the white balance on the right. But it's also acting as a wheel, right? So we can navigate the menu, and of course the center part is also our menu button. We then have a back or delete button. Again, if we're in the menu, and when we press this, is going to go one step back into the menu hierarchy. But if you're on a photo, that also acts as a delete button. At the same time, this is, you'd be surprised, but this is also a function customizable button. So you can even make it do something else if you want to, depending on the mode that you're recording in. And then finally we have the display button, which allows us to toggle between what we can see on the display, and depending on, again, the mode that we're on, whether it's in recording, photo, video mode, or playback mode, it will have other functions as well. And the nifty thing is that the camera will tell you what the disp button does on that particular menu. Okay, so that's basically the camera's top, side, front, and the back. And then I want to also show you what it looks like underneath. So as you're looking at the camera now, on the left-hand side, we have our battery access area. We also have a possibility to connect an adapter, so the cable could come out, so it has a little door here, so you can connect to a power adapter, so you don't have to keep switching the battery. And actually, one of the great things about this camera is that it actually uses the same BLK12, if I'm not mistaken, BLK22, sorry, battery that we are using on the new S series, the GA7, and so on. So this is going to be fully compatible with those cameras as well. So if you want to use this as a B cam, you can definitely do that, and you don't need to worry about another model for the battery. We then have the possibility to connect the camera on a tripod. So this is the tripod mount here. And then we have the access to the SD card. Again, very simple to open, and then to get the SD card out, you just have to press. It will pop out, and then the same thing when you put it back. There is no way to put it incorrectly because it only goes in a specific way. So that's nice and easy to use. And that, I know, again, it's been a bit of a longer video, but hopefully gives you an understanding of the different buttons and dials that we have on the camera, so that you know when we refer to them in the next videos, you'll know what each do. So thanks so much for watching, and jump in with me in the rest of the tutorials, where we're going to have a look at how to set up the camera for best portrait photography, for landscapes, for travel, how to customize, what you can customize on the camera, and how to also connect it to the Lumix lab. So stay tuned and see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.